وارض عنا اللهم اصلح لنا شأننا كله لا إله إلا أنت أما بعد. We had started the lessons on Aqeeda Tahawiyya. My original intention was to finish it in the February half-term holidays in 5 days. But it kept on stretching, and today we are into the 14th lesson. It started with Zakaria Masjid, and hopefully it's going to finish with Zakaria Masjid. Today, Imam Tahawiyya Rahmatullah Alayhi talks about signs of Qiyamat. Our Aqeeda and our beliefs regarding signs of Qiyamat. Imam Tahawiyya Rahmatullahi Alayhi previously talked about Sahaba Ridwanullahi Alayhim Ajma'in, and then ulama of Ummat, Salafi Salihin, our belief regarding the ulama that we have to respect them and only talk good about them. And then he talked about awliya. Allah has awliya in the ummah all the time. No time is empty, void of awliya kiram. So we believe in the awliyaullah and in the karamat which come to us from sahih riwayat. If you have proper narration, narrators are reliable, and they mention some miracles which appeared at their hands, then we believe in them. It is right. Allah honors His friends with karamat. And we talked about that yesterday, about the karamat of Hazrat Maryam alayhi salam, how she used to get fruits out of season. Food was with her when there was nowhere else in the area. Zakaria alayhi salam did not bring food, she was already having food. There is karamat of Sahabi in a similar manner. Sayyiduna Khubayb radiyallahu anhu was captured by the enemies, and he was in chains, and he was kept at one family's house. So he has that metal ball tied to his foot, and he has shackles, and they would give him food. They were waiting to execute him. So the lady of the house says that he asked for an ustura. Okay, ustura ne? Shaver, razor. So they gave him that razor. Perhaps he wanted to shave his mustache or whatever, hair, armpit, whatever. So he had that ustura, large blade in his hand, and one of these small babies happened to crawl to him, and he was holding on to that baby in his lap and sharp blade in the other hand, and the lady got shaken. Who is going to kill my child? So Sayyidina Khubayb radiyallahu anhu said, don't worry, I'm not going to kill him. He's innocent. He's not done anything wrong to me. Take your child away. Don't be shaken. Don't be terrified. Don't be scared. So he let the child go. So the lady says that I noticed that, Khubayb was at times eating grapes when there were no grapes in the whole city of Makkah Mukarramah. Because in Makkah there are everything, no gardens, no orchards, no fruits. Everything come from outside. It wasn't season, it was winter. And Khubayb was eating grapes. Where was these grapes coming from? Allah used to feed him the grapes. So this is karamat. So we believe in the karamat of awliya, karamat of Sahabi. Similar grapes, karamat of Imam Ja'far Sadiq. Layth ibn Sa'd says, I went for Hajj, and I went on Jabal Abu Qubais. There was nobody there. So I saw someone, some buzrug, seated, and he was pleading to Allah. And he was saying, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Rahim, Ya Rahim, Ya Rahim, Ya Rahim, Ya Rahman, 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 Ya Rahim, until he could say no more, lost breath. And then he said, Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, I'm hungry, I want to eat some grapes. And my ihram has gone old and is torn, I need a new ihram. Lays ibn Sa'ad says, by Allah, these words are not finished from his lips. And I saw a bowl of grapes by his side and two brilliant, new ihram sheets on his side. So he thanked Allah, he said, Bismillah. He was about to eat the grapes and he said, Hazrat, al-hadaya mushtarakatun, you have to join me as well, because I was saying Ameen on your dua. He said, come on, then join me. So we started eating grapes. They were large grapes which I had never seen before, and there were no seeds in them, and they were so sweet that I had never tasted such sweet grapes in my life. And the amazing thing was, we kept on eating and eating and eating, but the bowl never emptied. It was as it was at the beginning. This is fruit of Jannah. And Quran said in Surah Al-Waqi'ah, La maqtu'atin wa la mamnu'a. Jannah's fruits never cease, never cut off. You take a bunch of grapes from Jannah, immediately it's replaced on the tree. So Jannah's fruits will never be empty from, the trees will never be empty from fruits. So it was from Jannah. Then the two sheets, he said, okay, you have to share these sheets with me as well. You take one sheet, I'll take one. He said, no, alhamdulillah, my ihram is good, you can put both sheets on. So he said, okay, then turn around. So I turned around and he changed himself. And then he folded the old ihram and he came down the mountain. I followed him down and he went to the slums area and he gave a gift of those two ihram to some poor person, and he proceeded towards Haram Sharif for his tawaf or whatever. So I asked those people, who's that? And they said, do you not know him? He's Imam Ja'far Sadiq, the grandson of Rasulullah, great grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is his karamat. So we believe in these karamat. Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah has quoted these in Fazail Hajj. You can read it there. Hazrat quoted many other karamat. This young man, set off for Hajj. And he's alone, and he's must in his own, he's in his own world. So Ibrahim al-Khawwas, rahmatullah alayhi, is traveling with a caravan. He sees that young man. And he says, young man, where are you going? He said, I'm going to him. Where are you coming from? I'm coming from him. So he said, well, you are alone on this journey? He said, no, I'm not alone. He's with me. What about your food and provision? He provides for me. I mean, you must have some means. This world is a world of means. I said, no, I don't need means. He provides for me. I said, well, that's amazing. I don't understand. He said, okay, where do you get your stuff from? Where do you get your money from? We earn it. He said, okay. And he said, this is how I get it. He just put his hand in the air and his hand was filled with golden coins. This is where I get my stuff from. Then Ibrahim Khawwas realized that he is a big wali of Allah. He's a young man, but he's reached the high ranks of wilayat, and he's showing that karamat to the likes of Ibrahim al-Khawwas, rahmatullahi alayhi. So these types of karamat, as the Shaykh has mentioned in Fazail Hajj. So Imam Tahawi, rahmatullahi alayhi, said over here in the previous lesson, وَنُؤْمِنُ بِمَا جَاءَ مِنْ كَرَامَاتِهِمْ وَصَحَّ عَنِ الثِّقَاتِ مِنْ رِوَايَاتِهِمْ. This is what we need to keep in mind, sahha. The riwayat should be sahih. Thokam thok nahi. Some people, lambi phank nahi. There should be some basis for it. So we believe in the awliya kiram and in their karamat and miracles, provided they are narrated from sound chain of narrations by reliable narrators. After completing that, now today Imam Tahawi rahmatullahi alayhi moves on to signs of Qiyamat. He says, وَنُؤْمِنُ بِأَشْرَاطِ السَّاعَةِ مِنْ خُرُوجِ الدَّجَّالِ ونزول عيسى ابن مريم عليه السلام ونؤمن بطلوع الشمس من مغربها وخروج دابة الأرض من موضعها. We believe in the signs of the hour, such as the appearance of the Dajjal and the descent of Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam from the sky, and we believe in the rising of the sun from the west and in the emergence of the creature from the earth. Now, signs of Qiyamat are plenty, but Imam Tahawiyya rahmatullah alayhi just mentioned 4 over here, because he's only writing a small booklet, so he doesn't want to fill it up. This is a very small booklet, so he didn't want to add anything extra to it. So he just mentioned these 4 signs. Before explaining these signs, I want you to keep in mind certain points. Number 1, signs are only signs. We should not just go after the signs all the time. Talking about, thinking about, dreaming about, watching YouTube videos like Illuminati, and listening to those who are always talking about signs of Qiyamat, like Sheikh Imran Hussein, and there may be others as well, who are just fascinated by these signs and always into it, predicting that such Imam Mahdi is coming, he'll be here on such and such a date, and maybe in so many years, and the sun is going to rise from the west in the year so and so, and all these things. So keep in mind that these are only signs. You know, let's say you're traveling from here to London, and you see signboards on the road that now you've reached, let's say, Walsall, Birmingham, M1, Northampton, Luton. Now, are you going to stop and look at all those signs and look for the sign of London? No, you keep traveling, because you're not here to observe the signs and look for the signs. Your duty is to keep going. Similarly, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam informed us of the signs of Qiyamat, so that when they appear, we are aware of them. He didn't tell us to delve into the signs and go so deep into it. Your mind is boggled and you're always depressed and scared and terrified and thinking about it, and oh no, when's it going to happen? When's Mahdi coming? When's the Dajjal coming? And this. And these type of messages which appear on the WhatsApp, don't pay attention to them. Don't look at them. Don't even read them. Do your duty. Pray your namaz 5 times a day. Do your tahajjud, ishraq, chash tawabin. Go to sleep early. Do zikr of Allah. Read Quran Sharif. Ramzan is around the corner. Get ready. Be prepared. This is what you should be doing. Just keep moving. Don't stop. Don't start looking at those signs. They distract you from your original destination. When you start looking at those signs, you don't practice. Some youngsters, talk about Imam Mahdi, chat at night, late into night, 2, 3 o'clock, and then they doze off, miss Fajr namaz. What's the point when you don't pray your Farz Fajr namaz? So, first point to keep in mind is that signs are just signs. We should not go so deep into them that we get depressed and we're always talking about them. Also, as I said, don't listen to the predictions of Sheikh Imran bin Hussein and others like him, because they have a habit of shooting and without a target. Sometimes they shoot the target and most times they miss. Predictions are like that. When you predict things, some predictions will become right, the others will be wrong. So if they said one thing right, two things right, that does not mean that everything they say is right. So I have listened to many of his discourses, lectures, videos, watched them, and there's so much flow in his prediction, and he confuses and he mixes things up. And when he mixes up, the general public can't understand. We as ulama can understand where he is mixing things up. So you can't differentiate. The best thing for awam is to leave him, ignore him, don't listen to him. Illuminati, those videos, Allah knows who made them. There's so much confusion in there. There's some stuff from, Ahlul Sunnah scholars like Sheikh Riyazul Haq and others. And there's stuff from Shia scholars, and everything is mixed up. So sometimes this, Ahlul Sunnah think, oh, Sheikh Riyazul Haq is there, our speakers are there, so this is our type. And the Shias think, oh, this is our type because our scholars are there. But they confuse your mind. So what happens is the ummah is held back by these things. And what needs to be done is not done. We need to progress. Don't think that Imam Mahdi is coming next year or the year after or within 10 years or within 20 years. Because if you keep talking about it, you don't do anything. You say, oh, well, Imam Mahdi is coming. He'll do whatever he needs to do. We don't need to do anything. Therefore, be very careful in these matters. Now, someone sent some text the other day, and there was this person talking about Qiyamat signs, and he said there is this narration of so and so, narrated by Nu'aym ibn Hammad al-Khuzai in his Kitab al-Fitan, and there is prediction in there towards coronavirus, that before Qiyamat, coronavirus will come. Because the words are such that it will enter every house and no one will know what is happening and people will fall ill suddenly. And this is exactly what coronavirus is doing. So coronavirus is in this hadith, it's a sign of Qiyamah. Long video, this is summary. Now, first of all, we can't pinpoint those signs that this is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam meant. Even if he mentioned some things, we can't say that this is exactly what he meant. Possibilities, but you can't pinpoint things from hadith, taking words from here and there and taking their literal meaning, lughawi meaning, whereas the meaning could be something else, intended meaning could be something else, and you take them literal meaning and then you fit it onto something. That's not right. Number one. Number two, as we said previously as well, sahha anis siqat. Whatever riwayat of signs of Qiyamat you read should be a sahih riwayat. Sahih riwayat of the top draw, top category. It should be either in Bukhari or Muslim. Most riwayat of signs of Qiyamat are in Bukhari and Muslim. Most riwayat of Dajjal are in Muslim. Bukhari there's few, Muslim most riwayat. In Sunan Arba'a, because they focus more on fiqhi view, so they have only mentioned a few signs. So most riwayat are in Sahih Muslim and some in Sahih al-Bukhari. Other than that, from Kutub Sitta, besides those, when you go out of these Kutub Sitta, there's so many riwayat that you just get confused. And this is why Nu'aym ibn Hammad al-Khuzai, who's written a thick book on Kitab al-Fitan, and he's brought so many riwayat that we have to say what Shamsuddin Zahabi rahmatullahi alayhi said in Siyar A'lam al-Nubala, page 609, volume 10, وَقَدْ صَنَّفَ فِي كِتَابِ الْفِتَنِ فَأَتَى فِيهِ بِعَجَائِبْ وَمَنَاكِيرِ. He wrote a book on Kitabul Fitan, and he brought some surprising and unknown, uncommon riwayat in there. So Nu'aym ibn Hammad cannot be trusted with regards to the riwayat of signs of Qiyamah. So if you get a riwayat and it's from Nu'aym ibn Hammad al-Khuzai, just put it away. Say, if it was from Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, we would have taken it. because this masala of signs of Qiyamat is very delicate and we don't want to be confused. So we will only accept Sahih riwayat with regards to signs of Qiyamat. This is point number 2 or 3 I want you to keep in mind. What was the point number 1? Signs are only signs. We should not stop and start looking for signs. We should do what we need to do. Number 2, we should not watch YouTube videos like Illuminati or Sheikh Imran Hussain because they confuse people a lot. Number 3, if you get some riwayat on WhatsApp regarding signs of Qiyamah, check, are they sahih riwayat, authentic riwayat? If they are not authentic, don't pay any attention to them. When you understand these points, now we will talk about the signs of Qiyamah, which Imam Tahawi is mentioning over here. How many signs is mentioned here? 4. Dajjal, Nuzul Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam min as-sama, an tulu'u ash-shams min maghribiha, an khuruju dabbati al-ardi min mawdi'iha. There is Sahih riwayat in Sahih Muslim, wherein Hudhayfa ibn Asid al-Ghifari radiyallahu anhu was sitting in Kufa many years after Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam departed from this dunya. Now they had large masjid, Sahaba would sit, people would come and go, they would teach hadith, masala masail. So Hudhayfa radiyallahu anhu was sitting and talking with people. Now there was a man whose taqiyya kalam was, you know taqiyya kalam, would you say taqiyya kalam? Whose regular habit and the words on his lips was Jadisa, Jadisa, Qiyamat agi, Qiyamat agi, Qiyamat agi. So, you know, Hudhayfa ibn Asid used to tolerate him. Every time, every few days, Qiyamat agi, Qiyamat. What happened? So and so thing happened, and in that area this happened. There was some earthquake. Some people were swallowed by the earth, and in the sign of Qiyamah it is that the people will be swallowed by the earth. So Qiyamah is here. So one day he just forced his way in the masjid. Qiyamah, Qiyamah is here. So Hudhayfa ibn Asid al-Ghifari got angry. Hey, sit down. Don't get in there. Qiyamah. I heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, "Inna as-sa'ata lan taquma hatta taraw qablaha 10 ayatin." فذكر الدخان والدجال ودابة الأرض وطلوع الشمس من مغربها ونزول عيسى ابن مريم وثلاثة خسوف، خسف بالمشرق وخسف بالمغرب وخسف بجزيرة العرب وآخر ذلك نار تخرج من قعر عدن تطرد الناس إلى محشرهم. He mentioned 10 signs before Qiyamat. He talked about the dukhan, the smoke. He talked about the Dajjal. He talked about Yajuj Majuj. He talked about Isa alayhi salam coming from the sky. He talked about the sun rising from the west. He talked about 3 large scale khusuf, swallowings of the earth. Whole cities and whole armies will be swallowed by the earth. And he talked about finally that fire which will erupt from Aden, Yemen, and it will drive people to their place of resurrection. Nothing of that has happened. What are you saying all the time? Qiyamat is here, Qiyamat is here, Qiyamat is here. So he mentioned 10 signs in there. And there is a sequence in them. When you see the sequence and you study or analyze all the signs of Qiyamah, one of the first signs of Qiyamah is Imam Mahdi. Imam Mahdi is mentioned in Ahadith of Sunan Abi Dawud most, and Sunan. And Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave his description as well. If only one day was left for this dunya, Allah would stretch that day until that descendant of mine comes and he rules and he fills the earth with justice and adl and fairness, equality, after it was filled with injustice, tyranny and oppression. He will remove all the oppression, tyranny, and he will establish justice and equality on the earth. This is indicating towards Imam Mahdi. He said, Al-Mahdi minni ajal al-jabhati wa aqna al-anfi yubati'u ismuhu ismi wa ismu abihi ismu abi. He is from my descendants, and he will have a shining forehead, beautiful, nice, aquiline nose, good-looking personality, And his name will be same as my name, his father's name will be same as my father's name. Prophet ﷺ said it. So this indicates that Imam Mahdi will be from Quraysh. He will be from Sadat-e Kiram. And his name will be Muhammad. Al-Mahdi will be his title. And his father's name will be Abdullah. He will be Muhammad ibn Abdullah. And he will not claim to be Mahdi. And he will be in Medina Munawwara. He will be like a normal person. He will have studied. He will have, gone through normal life like we do. The people of Medina will know who he is. Like they know the Imams of Haram Sharif. They know everyone. They will know Imam Mahdi as well. So when there will be so much turmoil, they will come to him and say, you are from the descendants of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Sayyid, you are a worthy personality, you take hold of the reign of Khilafat. There will be a war between three Khalifas at the death of their fathers, and then there will be a dispute, and then so much chaos, there will be nowhere to turn to. People will say to him, you take care of the Khilafat. He will say, no, that's not my piece of cake, I'm not for that. He will have reached the age of 40. That's what the hadith explains. So he will leave Medina Munawwara and run off to Makkah Mukarramah to get some peace. But over here, when he is in Makkah Mukarramah, between Hajar Aswad and Maqam Ibrahim, he will be seated there, and Allah will inspire the Abdal of that time. That is Mahdi, go and give bayat to him and let him take care of the Muslim Ummah. Some riwayat say a voice will call out from the heavens, and the Abdal will hear that. They will gather around him and they will force him to take bayat. He will take bayat, he will take charge, and then he will form an army and advance and move, and he will go through many, many battles. He will live for 7 to 8 years according to one riwayat, and he will always be engaged in battles and wars during this time. He will go through the Malhamatul Kubra, the largest war, which they call Armageddon, which is in Bible as well, Armageddon. There will be a huge battle between the Muslims and the non-Muslims, and the details of that are given. And finally, during his last year, maybe a year or so is left, that is when Dajjal will appear. And Imam Mahdi will say, he will be at Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, and he will say, Ya Allah, we've done what we could, but Dajjal is Dajjal, we can't confront him, you please help us. Imam Mahdi will also know, Muslims will also know that Isa alayhi salam is going to come down from the heavens. So they will pray, Hazrat Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam will come, and he will tackle Dajjal, he will be able to finish him off. So Imam Mahdi is first, second is Dajjal, and third is Isa alayhi salam. Dajjal is the name of a personality. It's not the name of a system. Imran Hussain makes it name of a system. And he says we are all going through the system of Dajjal. And I don't know what he said, that Dajjal will have, Riwayat said, 40 days, and his first day will be like 1 year, second day will be like 1 month, and third day will be like 1 week, and the rest of the days will be normal. So he said that first day has already started since British Raj was formed. And we've gone through that first day, and the second day is now coming, and then third day, and then the dunya will be finished. I don't know where he gets that from. He says that when it is said that Dajjal will be one eye, then that is not a personality of Dajjal. It means those who will be embroiled into the fitna of Dajjal will be one eye. And he says that one eye means we have 2 eyes, eyes of the Zahir and eyes of the Batin. So the eyes of the Zahir will be there, but eyes of the Batin, the heart, the Dil, the Qalb, it will be blind, and he will not be able to see the fitnas. So that the Dajjali fitna will be such that those who are in it will be one eye. They won't have the eye of the heart, they will only have the eye of the physical eye, the eye in the head. So this is twisting the riwayat of Dajjal. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam has mentioned Dajjal will be a person. Tamim Dari radiallahu anhu saw Dajjal. And he was chained in large chains and he was jumping up and down from one place to the other. They went to an island where they saw him, and then they came back to their ships and returned. Long hadith of Sahih Muslim. Imran Hussain has said that that island where Tamim Dari went and saw Dajjal was Great Britain. I heard this in my own ears in his video. So he says Great Britain is Dajjal. Na'udhu billahi min zalik. So how can people, trust these types of people who concoct and tahrif and change what Allah's Rasul is trying to say? So Dajjal has a physical appearance. He is a personality. And he will come out, emerge. When Allah will want him to emerge, he will cause fitna left, right, center. He will travel through the earth from east to west to north to south. There will be no place where he doesn't travel. And he will cause lots of fitna, fasad. Finally, what will happen? He will come to Makkah, Medina, but he won't be able to enter physically inside Makkah, Medina. Malaika will be guarding Makkah, Medina. He will be able to see the angels. He will be terrified and run away, turn around. And he will be near Masjid Aqsa. And that is when Sayyiduna Isa ala Nabiyina wa alayhi salam will follow him. And he will run away. And Isa alayhi salam will catch him near Bab al-Lud. And he will kill him with his dagger. And he will show the Muslims his blood, that this is the blood of Dajjal. So what does the hadith tell you? It's a person. He's a person. So this is about Dajjal. We believe in the signs of Qiyamah. We believe in the khuruj of Dajjal, that Dajjal's emergence. Huzur has mentioned in riwayat, he will mention emerge from where, Isfahan, who will follow him. Details are given in hadith. We believe in Dajjal. My friend Ibrahim was asking me, someone asked him that, what is the need for Dajjal? Why did Allah need to create the Dajjal? Well, that question could be addressed to Shaitan as well. What is the need to create Shaitan? Why did Allah create Shaitan? And to everything. Why did Allah create this? Why did Allah create that? Why did Allah create a kafir? Why did Allah create evil in the first place? So, Dajjal is a creature created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for purpose. That purpose is test. Towards the end of the time, there will be so much turmoil, people will need to be tested. So, haqq and batil, vice and virtue can be separated, distinguished. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala separates. This is called tamyiz, between haqq and batil through these tests. This is why, if you remember, I said coronavirus is also a test for us. May Allah keep us strong. Alhamdulillah, some people's iman strengthened due to coronavirus. They became more dindar. They were not praying, they started praying. They were away from Allah, they came close to Allah. They were not reading Quran, they started reading Quran. So their life changed for the better. But on the other side, there were those who had a dilly-dally attitude, and because of coronavirus, they slipped. They went on the other side. Allah distinguishes, separates people. So Dajjal will be to cause that distinction. Who's on which side? This is why the hadith said, فُسْطَاطُ إِيمَانٍ لَا نِفَاقَ فِيهِ وَفُسْطَاطُ نِفَاقٍ لَا إِيمَانَ فِيهِ. That people will be separated. They will be on one side iman, on the other side kufr. There won't be any middle ground, gray area where people can hide and have that both side attitude and benefit from both sides. No, they will be clearly distinct from one from the other. So Dajjal, there are many hikmats in there. And when is Dajjal going to come? Before Qiyamat, right? And what is Qiyamat? Qiyamat is the destruction of the whole universe. Why will the whole universe be destroyed? Because it's no longer needed. And because The day of judgment is coming and people need to be finished and brought into another place and judged over there by the greatest judge of all judges, Allah Rabbul Alameen, Ahkamul Hakimin. So the world is not forever. It is temporary and it is to be finished off. So when the time of it comes to finish it off, that's when these signs will appear. Dajjal, Yajuj Majuj, whatever, Dabbatul Ard. You know, some Hazrat Maulana Qasim Nanotwi Rahmatullahi Alayhi explained this. That, you know, if you have a very nice large building and it's become old now, there's too much repairs in there, too many cracks appearing, then what do? You say, thodo hi na karne mein, India mein bahut time thi haveli khatam thai gaya, thodo hi na, and biju banao ek jagah par. Finish it off, break it, demolish it. So then you decide to demolish, you call the JCB and the demolishers. So for some time, it's left empty. What happens? You know, the creepy crawlers appear in there. Snakes and scorpions and spiders and spider webs. And it becomes a jungle. Nobody's looking after it. So these Dajjal, Yajuj, Majuj are those creepy crawlers who are appearing to show that the world is now coming to an end. It's no longer needed and is going to be destroyed and demolished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is how Hazrat Maulana Qasim Nanotwi Rahmatullahi explained it. So Dajjal is a creation of Allah. He has physical presence and Allah will bring him out when the time is right. When the time is right. This is why in one hadith, the same Sahabi Huzaifa ibn Asid al-Ghifari radiyallahu anhu said, look, Dajjal is not coming out now because the time is not right. If he was to come out now, you know those kids playing on there, they would stone him to death. Because those kids' iman is strong. Even they believe in Allah and His Rasul, they would beat him and drive him away. He will only come when the time is right. When people are anticipating him, people are waiting, crying out for him, come out Dajjal, come out Dajjal, come out Antichrist, we need you Antichrist. That is when Allah will say, okay, you need him, then take it, take him. And Dajjal is not only mentioned in our books, he is mentioned in the previous scriptures as well, in their books as well, in Torah and Injil and by their prophets as well. Because one hadith said, there's not been any prophet from Nuh alayhi salam till today who's not warned his ummah about Dajjal. I am also warning you about Dajjal, and I'm telling you something which the other prophets did not say. And that is that he will be one-eyed. Kana. He won't be able to see with one eye. He'll only be able to see with the other one. And the one with which he sees will also be bloated. So Allah made his face ugly, so that you realize when he says, I am God, then you can see that he's not God. If he's God, then why can't he change his appearance and look good, make himself beautiful? Allah placed that sign on his face. Not only that, he will be fat, obese, and his knees will have rickets in them, they will be bent. And his feet, the heels will be pushing towards back. So there is ugliness in his whole body from head to toe. His hair will be curly-whirly. So you have to understand he can't be God. This is why Allah made him like that. So Dajjal will emerge, but still people will fall for him. You know, some of our ulama said, who will fall for Dajjal? Those who run for taweez, who run to people who they know are chain smokers and don't pray a single namaz, who abuse women, who rape women, who drink alcohol, and still they're lying in front of their huts and jhupra for taweez. These people with such weak and zaif iman and i'tiqad, their iman is so weak that it is the like of these people who will fall for Dajjal. The kuffar will fall for him, but among Muslim believers, those who have weak iman, they will also fall for him. So make sure your iman is strong. Even if Dajjal was to come today, you would show him his true colors, that hey, get out of here. There will be believers who will confront him, who will say, you are Dajjal, you are that same person who our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam warned us of. So Dajjal will appear, he will be a test for the ummah, And we have to pass that test. Just learn about Dajjal. You know it. Even if you don't know anything, if you have Iman in your heart, Prophet ﷺ said that you will be able to see in his forehead kafara. You will know him. Your nur of Iman will guide you. He said, if you see him read Suratul Kahf's opening 10 verses, and another riwayat last 10 verses, you will be protected from his fitna. So he's given you. He said, if Dajjal was to come out in my life, I will confront him and deal with him. And if he comes out after me, then Allah is my Khalifa and Naib and deputy over every believing Muslim. If you have Iman, Allah will take care of you. So this is Khurujud Dajjal. We believe in the signs of Qiyamah. First sign Imam Tahawiyya mentioned over here is Khurujud Dajjal. Second, he mentioned Nuzulu Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam min as-sama. Isa alayhi salam descending from the sky. He used the word min as-sama. Where will he descend from? Sky. He will descend from the sky. وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِهِ لَيُوشِكَنَّ أَن يَنزِلَ فِيكُمْ ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ حَكَمًا عَدْلًا مُقْسِطًا فَيَكْسِرَ الصَّلِيبَ وَيَقْتُلَ الْخِنْزِيرَ ويضع الجزية ويفيض المال حتى لا يقبله أحد أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. He will come down from the skies. He will come as a judge, as an adil hakim munsif ruler, and he will wipe out just jizya. And in his when he calms everything down, settles everything down, there will be so much wealth that people will not want to accept wealth as gift hadiyah. They will say, I might as well pray 2 rakat. One sijda is more beloved to me than 100 gold coins. Because of the ruhaniyat and spirituality of the followers who will be supporting and assisting Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. And in his presence, everybody will have that spirituality. That is why they will feel this world is nothing. They will love salat and sajda more than 100 gold coins. So Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam will descend from the skies. In Sahih Muslim's riwayat, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained it. فَيَنْزِلُ عِيسَى بْنُ مَرْيَمَ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامُ عِنْدَ الْمَنَارَةِ الْبَيْضَاءِ شَرْقِيَّ دِمَشْقٍ بَيْنَ مَهْرُودَتَيْنِ وَاضِعًا يَدَيْهِ عَلَى أَجْنِحَتَيْ مَلَكَيْنِ. He will come down. He will be wearing 2 beautiful cream sheets, and he will be like he's just had a shower, and water will trickle down from his cheeks and his beard. And when he looks down, it will be like pearls coming down, trickling from his face. He will be extremely handsome, beautiful. He will come down resting on the wings of 2 angels. And he will come to the Manaratul Bayda, the white minaret on the eastern side of the Damascus. And then he will come down. It will be Salah time. People will know that Isa alayhi salam's time is closed. They will have indication. So they will have just given the azan, and the Iqamat of Salah will be done, and Isa alayhi salam will come down. So people will make way for him, and he will go straight to the front of the saf. Imam Mahdi will be on the musalla. Isa alayhi salam will arrive. Imam Mahdi will come back. He say, Hazrat, Tashrif laiye, start Salah, lead the Salah. And Imam Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam said, no, the Iqamat was done for you, you lead it. He will pray behind Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. So then Hazrat Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam and Imam Mahdi will take things under control. Imam Mahdi, Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam will give everyone tasalli. Don't worry, inshallah things will be fine. Then they will regroup and they will tackle Dajjal. When Dajjal sees Isa alayhi salam, he will run. And Isa alayhi salam will be given one miracle at that time, that wherever his breath reaches, a kafir will not be able to withstand him. He will melt like salt melts in water, as the hadith of Muslim says. And his breath will reach where his eyesight reaches. That means around him, Allah will form a protective shield for him, that no kafir will be able to reach him and harm him. This special protection will be given. So then the Muslims will have engaged in a large battle, and Isa alayhi salam will go after Dajjal. He will run, and Isa alayhi salam will go after him. If Isa alayhi salam left him, Dajjal would also melt like the other kuffar. But no, Isa alayhi salam will approach him, kill him with his dagger, and show the blood to people that this is Dajjal. Don't worry, I've finished him off. This is Sayyiduna Isa alayhi salam coming down from the heavens. And then Imam Tahawiyya is not mentioned over here, or Yajuj Majuj, which is mentioned in the hadith of Huzaifa ibn Asid, which I quoted. Yajuj Majuj are a community where they are in detail. They will come. Allah will say to Isa alayhi salam that you can't tackle these people. Just go on Mount Tur, protect yourself over there. Let them do whatever they are doing. So they will cause fasad wherever they run around and cause lots of mischief. Finally, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put a certain disease on their necks, and with that disease they will die like the death of one single person. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send birds, large birds, to carry their bodies and throw them into the oceans. And then Isa alayhi salam will come down, and there will be so much smell of Yajuj Majuj. Allah will send down heavy rain which will wash the whole earth, and then Allah will tell the earth, Ruddi barakatiki wa samaratiki, that return your barakat and your fruits. And there will be so much barakat in the fruits and in the milk and everything. And people had been through real tough time and hardships. In the time of Dajjal, they were going through so hardship that there will be areas in which people will survive on meager provisions, and some will survive with tasbih. Tasbih will fill their stomachs. They will do zikr of Allah, and zikr of Allah will keep them alive. So now there will be so much barakat that they will be having, very nice time, and they will wish that our forefathers, fathers who died, they were here as well to enjoy that barakat. So Yajuj Majuj will finish. Isa alayhi salam will have brought things under control. Then Isa alayhi salatu wassalam will go towards Makkah Mukarramah, perform Hajj. He will pass through Fajjur Rawha and other places. Bir Rawha, which you hear, he will pass through there. He will travel saying Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, Labbaik la sharika laka Labbaik, and go to Makkah Mukarramah, perform Hajj. And then he will arrive at Medina Munawwara. He will spend the rest of his life in Medina Munawwara. Ibn al-Jawzi writes in Kitabul Wafa, the riwayat, wherein it says that Isa alayhi salam will marry, he will have 2 sons, and then Isa alayhi salam will die in Medina Munawwara, and he will be buried by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This is our belief regarding Sayyiduna Isa ala nabiyyina wa alayhi salatu wassalam. And then dunya will move on as it used to be, and very quickly tables will turn. There will be some people around other areas who might not be believing, so things will change, and kufr will start rapidly. A time will come when the sun will rise from the west. This is after Imam Mahdi, after Dajjal, after Isa alayhi salam, after Yajuj Majuj, and after the death of Isa alayhi salam. Isa alayhi salam will stay on this earth for maybe, one riwayat says 7 years, another riwayat says 40 years. Allah knows best. And then after that, maybe few years, decades or century will pass, and then 2 signs are mentioned over here. Tulu'u shamsi min maghribiha, sun rising from the west, not the east. Every day it rises from the east, but it will rise from the west. Now you might ask that, around the whole world, if you see there is a timeline, and the sun is always rising and setting somewhere. So what is that central point which is mentioned in this hadith? So Shurrah talk about it. They say it seemed like, at the moment the day starts from east, Fiji and New Zealand, and there is timeline from top of the earth to the bottom. There is a line, and then you have the hours, 1 hour plus 2 hour plus 3 hour plus 4, 5. So it seems like this timeline is in Middle East because everything is happening in Middle East. So the sun in the Middle East, where Makkah, Medina, Masjid Aqsa are, it is there where it will rise from the west in front of the east. And wherever the sun has already risen, or wherever it's set, there the sequence will be reversed. So it will go back. It's going in this cycle clockwise, let's say, so it will start going anti-clockwise. Now what will happen? One riwayat says that some people will be in their ibadat, tahajjud, and they will see that Subh Sadiq is not happening and sun is not coming out. So they will notice that this is something and they will extend their tahajjud salah. They will cry out to Allah more, they will pray, make du'as, as long as darkness remains. On the other side, there will be some who will be busy in their badmashi, the evil habits and vices. So they will feel that, oh, it's a nice chant, let's enjoy more. So they will increase their disobedience. And many hours will pass, sun will not rise, until people will be looking at the east, but the sun will rise from the west. It will come to the above, middle of maybe the sky, and then it will go back to where it came from. And the next day, it will rise again from the east as it used to. So this will happen only once, one day, but the following days will be same as it was. This is what riwayat explain. And this is indicated in Quran in the closing verses of Surah Al-An'am, wherein Allah says, هل ينظرون إلا أن تأتيهم الملائكة أو يأتي ربك أو يأتي بعض آيات ربك يوم يأتي بعض آيات ربك لا ينفع نفسا إيمانها لم تكن آمنت من قبل أو كسبت في إيمانها خيرا قل انتظروا إنا منتظرون. Are they waiting for the very angels to come to them? Or are they waiting for your Lord himself? Or maybe some of his signs? But on the day some of your Lord's signs come, no soul shall profit from faith if it had none before, or has not already earned some good through its faith. Say, wait if you wish, we too are waiting. It is recorded in a hadith in Sahih Bukhari, which explains the above verse. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, لا تقوم الساعة حتى تطلع الشمس من مغربها فإذا طلعت ورآها الناس آمنوا أجمعين وذلك حين لا ينفع نفسا إيمانها. The hour will not transpire until the sun rises from the west. When that occurs, the entire mankind will bring faith. However, it will be a time when no soul will profit from its faith, from the faith it brings. Meaning, that Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam indicated that this la yanfa'u nafsan imanuha, the time when iman will not benefit, is the time of sun rising from the west. When it rises from the west, and then it goes back and comes out the following day. Now, if someone wants to bring faith and say kalma la ilaha illallah, nope. If someone wants to do tawbah, nope. No iman, no tawbah will be accepted after that. One hadith said that there is a door in the west from which tawbah rises to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When the sun comes out from the west, that door will be closed and no tawbah will, or no iman will go. That is like the time of a death of a person. When a person is dying and he's going through the pangs of death and he wants to believe, he can't believe. He wants to do tawbah, he can't do tawbah because he is seeing the other side. His time's up. So this world's time is up. So nobody's iman or tawbah will be accepted after that. Finish, full stop. And then another sign after this day will happen, which is mentioned over here by Imam Tahawiyya. وَخُرُوجُ دَابَّةِ الْأَرْضِ مِنْ مَوْضِعِهَا. A creature from the earth coming out of its place. This is mentioned in Surah An-Naml, verse number 82, wherein Allah said, وَإِذَا وَقَعَ الْقَوْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ أَخْرَجْنَا لَهُمْ دَابَّةً مِنَ الْأَرْضِ تُكَلِّمُهُمْ أَنَّ النَّاسَ كَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا لَا يُوقِنُونَ. When the verdict is given against them, we shall bring a creature out of the earth which will tell them that people had no faith in our revelations. This is a creature which will come out of the earth. It will be an amazing creature. It will speak to people in their languages. It will go around and it will roam around wherever the world, the earth is inhabited, and it will inform people. Some riwayat say over here, mentioned by ulama in the books of Ashratu Sa'ah, that it will have the ring of Sulaiman alayhi salam in one hand and the asa, the staff of Musa alayhi salam in the other. With one, it will touch the nose of a believer and his face will shine with the nur of Iman. And with the other, he will strike the disbeliever and his face will be blackened, and the kufr and the darkness of his disbelief and kufr will appear on his face. And then it will go around the world. لا يدركها لا يعجزها هارب ولا يدركها طالب. A person running away from it will not be able to incapacitate it, disable it. And a person going after it will not be able to catch it. This is how swift it will roam around the world, and then it will disappear exactly at the spot where it came out of. Another riwayat said it will come out from Mount Safa. In Safa Marwa, when you go, the Safa Pahadi will split open. From there it will come out, it will go around and then return back to where it came from. Now after this, these are the last signs. After this, what will happen is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send a cool breeze which will take away the souls of the believers. Quran will be taken away from the Masahif. Baytullah Sharif will be taken away. Every mu'min and believer will be taken away. And the world will have only disbelievers and extremely wise people who will jump on one another in broad daylight in front of one another, like donkeys upon donkeys, how the Prophet ﷺ described, meaning they will commit zina openly and all evil and vice you can think of. Upon such people, Qiyamat will take place, the trumpet will be blown upon them. So these are some of the signs mentioned in the ahadith. Imam Tahawiyya rahmatullah alayhi said, وَنُؤْمِنُ بِأَشْرَاطِ السَّاعَةِ. We believe in the signs of the hour, and we believe in the emergence of Dajjal, his appearance, and the descending of Sayyiduna Isa alayhi salam from the heavens. Now you know these are in mutawatir hadith, and if someone denies this, what will you say? There is fear of kufr upon him. And we have this chap in Birmingham who comes on Monday and he denies Dajjal, he denies Yajuj Majuj. Not only that, he makes fun of the hadith of Dajjal. You must have seen that video. Have you seen it? When he says, well, the hadith say there will be kafar around his forehead. And he goes down under the table and then he takes out KFC and sticks it to his forehead. And he says, is it going to look like this? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Can you class such people as believers? And then about Isa alayhi salam coming down, I don't believe in Isa alayhi salam. What is the need for Isa alayhi salam coming down? But these clear-cut Sahih hadith are saying, don't believe in them. So I advise all my Muslim youngsters, friends, please don't fall for such fitnas. These people, such groups, such sects are a test of our iman, our character, our belief. You know, you should have ghayrat on your iman. Ghayrat, you know, protective jealousy. You should protect your iman. Why do you even look at such people? Why do you listen to such people? Don't pay them attention. Don't listen to them. Don't give them any extra likes on Facebook and whatever. Stay away from them. I'm telling you, your iman is at risk if you trust such people with your deen. Inna hadha al-ilma deenun fanzuru amman ta'khuzuna deenakum. Knowledge is also religion. See where you take your religion from. If a person himself is no religion, he's got no religion on his face, on his appearance, how is he going to give you religion? So we believe in these signs which Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam himself has mentioned, and in the sun rising from the west. You know the sequence I have explained. When will sun rise from the west? In the beginning or towards the end? Towards the end. So if you hear of someone saying, you must have seen, did you hear that video that there's a scientist in America, USA, in so and so area who works for NASA, and he's seeing all the world up there, and he has predicted that the world rotation is slowing down, and in year 2028, that's 7 years from now, 2028, the sun is going to rise from the west. Right? Now, I will say, before sun rising from the west, where are all these signs? And people are passing that WhatsApp everywhere. They've gone wild. Everywhere. Some people who are highly educated people, they sent me that video clip. I said, use your brains, yaar. There's no Imam Mahdi, no Dajjal, no Isa alayhi salam, no Yajuj Majuj. How's the sun going to rise from the west before that? So because of lack of knowledge, lack of understanding of the sequence of the signs of Qiyamah, they believe in anything and every garbage that comes on WhatsApp. So we know that the sun is going to rise from the west, but there is the time for it. It's at the end, not right at the beginning. And such people, Allah knows who that person is. Does that person exist or not? Or is just a fake name, fake identity? Someone made it up. Muslim name, and said that this Muslim scientist said that. No, people put these things on WhatsApp and social media to confuse you. Just do what you need to do ibadah, turn to Allah, get ready for Ramadan, ask Allah to protect you from the Dajjal and all the fitnas that are the Dajjali, and hope, aim for the high, hope for the best, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give uruj and rise to Islam. The other day, you must have heard that in Egypt, they made a little bit of film about, the year 2121. That's 100 years down from now. And they said that within 100 years, Masjid Aqsa will be freed. The Jews will no longer have control over it. And this will happen, and this, and this, and this. So the Yahud, they're so angry at the Egyptians for making this film. And the Egyptians said, well, you make so many movies about Islam, so what's wrong if we made this fiction movie about you? But they said, and about Ertugrul, they said, we hate Ertugrul, they don't like it. They're very angry at Turks for making Ertugrul. So when they make these types of things to confuse people, nothing happens. But when our Lord do something even a little bit, that's when they start screaming. So these types of Illuminatis and movies are made by a certain group of individuals to confuse our mind. Why do we fall for them? We have to have that protective jealousy, ghairah, and we have to keep our hopes high. Inshallah, Allah is there. Allahu Akbar, Allah is the greatest. Allah has everything under control. Whatever Allah wills happen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make the things better, inshallah. So don't be confused, don't be depressed, don't be downhearted. Do what you need to do and connect yourself to Allah. Fulfill huququllah, fulfill huququl ibad. Be a good person, inward, outward, and be a good citizen of your country, behave, abide by the law of the land, do everything right. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make everything better, inshallah. So this is today's lesson about signs of Qiyamah. I was hoping to move a bit forward, but we're stuck here again. Inshallah, we'll finish it tomorrow if Allah wills. Thoda sa reh gaya hai, maybe half a page. We'll finish it tomorrow, inshallah. وَلَا نُصَدِّقُ كَاهِنًا ولا عرافا ولا من يدعي شيئا يخالف الكتاب والسنة وإجماع الأمة إلى آخره. ودين الله في الأرض واحد والسماء واحد وهو دين الإسلام إلى آخره. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. اللهم لك الحمد ولك الشكر. اللهم لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما. اللهم اشرح صدورنا للإسلام واجعلنا هداة مهتدين. اللهم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين وحسن أولئك رفيقا. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من أن نرد على أعقابنا أو أن نفتن عن ديننا. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من عذاب جهنم ونعوذ بك من عذاب القبر ونعوذ بك من فتنة المحيا والممات ونعوذ بك من شر فتنة المسيح الدجال. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شر الشيطان وشركه ونعوذ بك من أن نقترف على أنفسنا سوءا أو نجره إلى مسلم. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من إبليس وجنوده. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شر ما عملنا ومن شر ما لم نعمل ونعوذ بك من شر ما علمنا ومن شر ما لم نعلم یا ارحم الراحمین. حضرت فضل اور کرم سے ہم سب کی مغفرت فرمائیے، پوری امت کی مغفرت فرمائیے، پوری امت پر رحم فرمائیے. یا اللہ ہم نے عقیدہ تحاویہ پڑھا ہے، آپ کی مہربانی سے ہمارے عقائد کو درست فرمائیے، ہمیں صحیح العقیدہ مسلمان بنائیے، غلط سلط فاسد عقائد سے ہماری حفاظت فرمائیے. اور یا اللہ ہمیں اپنے ایمان اور عقائد میں پختگی نصیب فرمائیے. یا اللہ ثابت قدمی عطا فرمائیے. اللہم ثبتنا علی الایمان وامتنا علی الایمان واحشرنا یوم القیامت مع المتقین مع الایمان. اللہم حبب الینا الایمان وزینہ فی قلوبنا وکرہ الینا الکفر والفسوق والعصیان واجعلنا من الراشدین واجعلنا من الفائزین المہدیین. یا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك ويا مصرف القلوب صرف قلوبنا إلى طاعتك. اللهم استر عوراتنا وآمن روعاتنا. اللهم استر عوراتنا وآمن روعاتنا. اللهم احفظنا وجميع المسلمين من كل بلاء الدنيا وعذاب القبر وعذاب الآخرة. اللهم احفظنا يا حفيظ من بين أيدينا من خلفنا وعن أيماننا وعن شمائلنا ومن فوقنا ونعوذ بعظمتك أن نغتال من تحتنا. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم رسولا ونبيا. یا ارحم الراحمین ہمارے ساتھ رحم اور کرم کا معاملہ فرمائیے، ہمارے ایمان کی حفاظت فرمائیے، ہماری نسلوں کے دین اور ایمان کی حفاظت فرمائیے، قیامت کی علامات کو سمجھنے کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے اور قیامت کی علامات میں بزی ہو جا کر آپ کی عبادت سے غافل ہونے سے ہماری حفاظت فرمائیے. ہر دم آپ کے ذکر و فکر میں مست رہنے کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے، آپ کی عبادت کا ذوق اور شوق نصیب فرمائیے اور آپ کی عبادت میں جو حلاوت اور مٹھاس ہے وہ نصیب فرمائیے. ذکر اللہ کی لذت عطا فرمائیے، آپ کی معرفت کے انوار سے ہمارے سینوں کو منور فرمائیے. یا اللہ ہر قسم کے فتنوں سے ہماری حفاظت فرمائیے، خاص طور پر دجالی فتنوں سے حفاظت فرمائیے، دجالی اسکیموں سے حفاظت فرمائیے. اور یا اللہ یوٹیوب اور فیس بک اور انسٹاگرام اور سوشل میڈیا کے فتنوں سے حفاظت فرمائیے. واٹس ایپ پر اگڑم بگڑم اناپ شناپ غلط سلط بیکار بکواس موضوع روایات سے ہماری حفاظت فرمائیے. ہمیں اپنے ایمان کی حفاظت کرنے کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے، ایمانی غیرت نصیب فرمائیے. یا اللہ ایمان کو یقین کو ڈھیلا پوچا ڈاواں ڈول کرنے سے ہماری حفاظت فرمائیے. یا اللہ ہمالیہ پہاڑ کی طرح سے ہمارے ایمان کو مضبوط اور پختہ فرمائیے، اس میں تزلزل اور دھڑار پڑنے سے شیک اپ ہو جانے سے ہماری حفاظت فرمائیے. ایمان میں پختگی عطا فرمائیے، ہماری نوجوان نسلوں کے ایمان کی حفاظت فرمائیے، ہمارے نوجوان لڑکوں اور لڑکیوں کے ایمان کی حفاظت فرمائیے. دین کو سیکھنے کا شوق یا اللہ موت میں بھی برکت عطا فرمائیے، ہماری موت میں برکت عطا فرمائیے، قبر کی لمبی زندگی آسان فرمائیے، حشر کا طویل دن آسان فرمائیے، حساب کتاب آسان فرمائیے، میزان عمل پر مدد فرمائیے، سرٹیفکیٹ بائک جانے میں نصیب فرمائیے، پل صراط کراس کرنا آسان فرمائیے، فردوس میں جگہ نصیب فرمائیے، جہنم کے عذاب سے حفاظت فرمائیے. ہمارے سبھی پر اپنی رحمت نازل فرمائیے. بالخصوص ہمارے حضرت قبر مبارک کو کہنے والے خوب اپنی رحمتوں کی بارش برسائیے، اللہ کے درجات حساب بلند فرمائیے، اللہ کے احسانوں کے عظیم کا حکیم ہے بہترین اللہ ان کی مخلصانہ تربیت و تعلیم کا حکیم ہے حضرت کے تمام مستشفین خلفاء مجازین تناویزہ و حضرت کے طریق پر نامزد فرمائیے دین کی خدمت میں لگے رہنے کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے، حضرت کے تمام اداروں کی اصول علوم کی حفاظت فرمائیے، تعلیمی ترقیات سے ملامت فرمائیے، علوم کی حفاظت فرمائیے، مدیرۃ العلوم جامعہ کی حفاظت فرمائیے، سبھی اداروں کو ہر طرح کی خیر و برکت عطا فرمائیے اور ہر قسم کے شرور اور فتنوں سے محفوظ فرمائیے، ہمارے سبھی اکابر حضرت شیخ زکریا سبھی کی طرف پر اپنی خاص جو اکابر بیات ہے سب کی زندگی میں برکتیں عطا فرمائیے، ان کے قلوب سے وجود سے ہمیں اور پورے عالم کو مستفید فرمائیے، مولانا بلال صاحب کو ہر طرح سے صحت اور عافیت سے مالامال فرمائیے، حضرت مولانا بلال صاحب کی خالہ جان مانچسٹر ہاسپٹل میں ان کے حال میں رحم فرمائیے، بوڑھیا کے حق میں صحت ہے وعافیت والی زندگی نصیب فرمائیے، وقت داخل آ چکا ہے تو کلمہ ایمان کے ساتھ بیچارے کو اپنے پاس بلائیے، ہمارے گھروں میں جتنے بھی بیمار ہیں سب کا رحم فرمائیے، ہمارے تمام مومنین کی مغفرت فرمائیے، ہمارے زبیدہ کے والد صاحب زمین میں انتقال ہوئے ان کی مغفرت فرمائیے، ان کی درجات بلند فرمائیے، سب کو صبر جمیل عطا فرمائیے، ہمارے یہاں ہوٹل میں بھی اتنے بڑے مومنین دفن ہیں کہ اللہ سب کی مغفرت کر کے سب کی درجات بلند فرمائیے، یا اللہ ہمیں بھی مرنے سے پہلے مرنے کے لیے ریڈی رہنے کی توفیق عطا فرمائیے، ہمارے ماں باپ میں سے بھی انتقال کر کے ان کی مغفرت کر کے درجات بلند فرمائیے، ہمارے والد صاحب کی طرف پر اپنی خاص سے حاصل فرمائیے، درجات بلند فرمائیے، ہمارے ماں باپ حیات ہیں ان کی زندگی میں برکت عطا فرمائیے، خاص طور پر ہماری والدہ صاحبہ کو صحت عافیت تندرستی عطا فرمائیے، ہر قسم کی ٹینشن سے حفاظت فرمائیے، ظاہری باطنی جسمانی ذہنی صحت نصیب فرمائیے، یا اللہ ہمارے بچوں کو بھی ہمارے کو بھی طمینان اور خوشی کا ذریعہ بنائیے، اور ہماری زندگی مسجد کی بھی حفاظت فرمائیے، ہمارے مسلمانوں کی حفاظت فرمائیے، کمیٹی کی حفاظت فرمائیے، علماء حضرات کی حفاظت فرمائیے، جو بھی یہاں پر معاملات اشعار اور بلاد بیان کرتے ہیں سب کو شرف قبولیت عطا فرمائیے اور امت میں ہدایت اور خیر کے پھیلنے کا ذریعہ بنائیے، ہماری اس تفسیر ویب سائٹ کو بھی قبول فرمائیے اور اس کے فیض کو عام فرمائیے، اس کی حفاظت فرمائیے، ستاری کا معاملہ فرمائیے، یہ بچے جو خدمت کرتے ہیں ان سب کو جزائے خیر عطا فرمائیے، ان کو علم نافع اور عمل صالح اور رزق واسع اور اپنے اپنے وقت پر حسن خاتمہ نصیب فرمائیے، ٹوٹی پھوٹی دعائیں سن لیجئے، ربنا تقبل منا انک انت السمیع العلیم وتب علینا انک انت التواب الرحیم، وصلی اللہم وسلم علی سیدنا محمد وآلہ وصحبہ اجمعین برحمتک یا ارحم الراحمین۔ اللہ پڑھو پڑھ لیجیے، ٹھیک ہے، بسم اللہ، ذرا لیٹ بھی ہو گیا ہے آج، قیامت کی نشانیاں ہیں اس لیے لیٹ ہو گیا۔